after office hours comes excellence. After office hours comes a new generation of Salesforce AI trailblazers. Welcome to the After Office Hours 5-day Agentforce intensive training. From 01 to 05 December 2025, 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Iced. Powered by Salesforce User Group Chennai. Massive shout out to our co-host leaders across India. Thank you, Trailblazers, for uniting this community. Together, we learn. Together, we lead. After office hours, we ignite the force. Agentforce rising, we're the future source. Trailblazing mind, we break down the doors. Learn AI. LLM foundations, transformers, attention, generation begins! On a day 2, prompt engineering, talk with AI like a boss, precise and winning! On a day 3, Agentforce Agents, topics, actions, instructions, automate the magic, Agentforce Actions, flows, apex, services, superpowers unlocked. Day 5, the grand Agentforce demo. Service marketing, ask me anything. Full excellence mode, activate after office hours.
For today, we'll look Agentforce in action, and today is the day 4 of our after our series as discussed. And for speaker notes, like we wanted to make some notes in terms of starting this session. So as discussed in the previous sessions, the after our series are designed for audience who have prior knowledge in Salesforce and have basic understanding of what is artificial intelligence all about. So it's a continuous session. So missing out any one of the session you will lose context when you're attending the next session. The entire after our series, we have covered like maximum theoretical information of what is required in order to understand Agentforce, and the information is from basic to intermediate. So this would allow you to or empower you to make sure you reach and understand like what Agentforce is all about in terms of practicality, but it does not enforce you to create any agents from scratch or an agent ecosystem from scratch. Okay, and the content that you see in the sessions are as of October 2025. So any future releases, any sort of updates would not be available in the PPT deck that you're going to see shortly. And the after our series, as discussed, from day 1 to day 3, it's already uploaded in YouTube, so you can watch it for any reference that if required. And the other 2 sessions, today and tomorrow, once the recording is available, that would also be uploaded shortly. And any of the images, the content, we do not own the content if it's researched from the web. And one final point from my side is like we've talked more from a technical point of view and also in theoretical format of like what is artificial intelligence all about, what are large language models, what is Agentforce all about, what are the agents, types of agent and their ecosystem. So we have delved deeply and we've covered as much as theoretical information as possible, because this would serve as a base for you when you try to understand how does the intricate details behind Agentforce, how does it actually work. So that's what we've tried to cover in the first 3 sessions. Today, we are planning to cover agents in action. We'll be talking about actions, we'll be talking about action builder, and also we'll be talking about agent creator and agent builder. So we have brought in as much as information as possible for you to understand, and we have squeezed it and concised this as much as possible. So if you have any questions, please do let us know in the chat. We'll be happy to answer that. So with further ado, and we'll talk about some of the refreshers from day one. So we saw what is artificial intelligence all about, how does it actually work, what are the components in an artificial intelligence. Then we saw subsets of artificial intelligence as a concept, starting from AI to machine learning, then we had deep learning, then generative AI, then large language model. Then we've talked about traditional machine learning models, which are your supervised, unsupervised, and feedback loop systems. Then we've talked about some of upcoming models, along with large language models such as large concept, large action that we are going to see today, and mixture of experts, vision language model, small language model, masked language model, and segment anything model. And what is considered as a backbone for any LLM is your transformer architecture. So we saw intricate details of what components are available in a transformer, starting with encoder decoder layer, feed forward network, attention mechanisms, and positional encoding. Then we saw what would be the input for a transformer architecture. So whatever input as a text that you provide to the LLM, how is it actually sliced and tokenized and understood by the LLM? So that's where your tokenization comes in. Then how would actually understands the relationship between one word to the other. So that's where your attention mechanism comes in. Then you have sampling techniques. Say, since we are talking about generative AI and that too large language model, a simple query based on that, the LLM could generate large responses. So how does it actually do it? How does it actually predict or generate the next word or the next sentence altogether? So that's where your sampling techniques comes in for text generation specifically. So you have two types where one is deterministic and the other is stochastic methods. In day two, we've delved deeper to understand what are the different large language models in terms of architecture, in terms of access type, and in terms of functionality. Then we saw how does an application invoke an LLM? How does it actually talk to LLM, get an information and share it to the user? Then we've talked about what is a prompt basically, what are the concepts or what should be there within a prompt in order to effectively utilize that prompt. What are the types of prompt, and what is prompt engineering basically? Key concepts when you are going to engineer any prompts from scratch, best practices and considerations when you create any prompt. And we saw a glimpse of what AI is in Salesforce, starting with your Salesforce Einstein AI. Then we had Agentforce 360, then the prompt builder. Right. So yesterday we have talked about agents specifically in a theoretical format. So we introduced or compared what is AI agents. But in order to understand what AI agents are all about, we need to understand where does it come from. So we started with AI tools, we compared it with AI assistants, and then we had an autonomous AI agents. And then we've talked about generic types of like segmenting agents based on their role. It can be an internal employee, it can be a sales agent, it can be a service, marketing. N number of agents can be classified, and you can segment agents based on their ecosystem in which they are acting on. So it can be monophonic, where it can talk with the customers one-to-one. They do not have any sort of communication with the other agents in that specific ecosystem. Then you have polyphonic, where you have an orchestrator that orchestrates the entire communication between the agents. So there is no direct communication between an agent, but there is communication only between the orchestrator. At times it can act as an autonomous agent, or it has additional interventions from a customer service agent. Then you have Ensemble, where it's an advanced AI agentic mesh, where you have a series of agents talking to one another through various protocols. So if it's an agentic ecosystem, agents talking with the other agents, you have a protocol called A2A. If an agent talks with an external tool per se, a tool where it focuses only on a specific task, then you have MCP, which is your model context protocol. So these are some of the protocols that can be used to communicate. Then we've talked about Salesforce and their area of interest in artificial intelligence, how long they came from that point of time to where they are currently now. So we've talked about the evolution of Agentforce 360, different timelines, different research articles, different models, in-house enterprise models that they are actually creating and using as of now. So those are some of the topics that we have touched. We have talked about Agentforce capabilities, types of agents within Agentforce specifically, a glimpse of topics, instructions, and actions in a theoretical format, and the action builder as well. So today we'll dive deep into how does an agent actually work. So we'll reverse engineer it. So we are going to see agent in action, then we'll decode Agentforce technically, then we'll talk about different actions and the action builder. Then we'll talk about agent creator, then customizing an agent through agent builder, right? So first I'll start with a quick demo. So this demo specifically showcases the capabilities of an agent. Okay, so here we've used the conversation preview as your UI, and the first prompt that you see here. So what I ask an agent here is, can you list me the fields that starts with the letter A in account object specifically? So I've given what is the account name, sorry, the object name, and also I've added additional customizations to my query to just list the fields that starts with the letter A. So we'll see how does it actually work. And also to the left, you can see the different topics that are available for this specific agent. Now, it got me a response, but how does it actually work intricately in the background? So first we'll try to dissect like whatever we see here. The prompt is understood by the agent. Then after that, through Atlas reasoning engine, what it does is it matches the query with the relevant topic. So each and every topic has a scope, has classification, description, and intricate instructions towards it. So whenever you provide a query or provide any question or some sort of tasks that you are going to ask to the agent, what it does is it uses the classification description in each of the topic, understands which topic suits best, right? And based on that, it chooses the actions within it. It also chooses the instructions. As you can see here, in object, you have 4 relevant instructions to the specific query and 3 different actions to this specific query. So what it did, it gave me both the field label as well as the API name. As you can see here, first action is to identify object by name, because the query is to identify the list of fields in account object, right? So I need to identify whether do I have any object called account in the specific org, right? And these are some of the instructions that are available in the agent. And based on the object name, it brought me back an information saying that yes, we do have a object called account, and an additional query to it is like I need to identify fields. So it created an additional criteria to segregate only fields that starts with the letter A. As you can see here, the action launched here is identify field by name. So all of the information, it's available in the output, as you can see here. And if I have any specific information related to how do I want to view this output, say for example, I need a certain format, or I need to order something based on certain attribute, I can do that. If you need those sorts of formatting mechanisms, you can write directly in the action instruction where you have the output. We'll be seeing that shortly. If you want to make sure that the topic instruction has information related to, say for example, if I have a certain query, I want it to be actioned only by a certain action, so you can add that instruction. You can also add additional details of when to use that topic, when to use an action within that topic, and also when not to use that. So all of the instructions you can talk, you can generate those informations via AI as well, and you can provide all the necessary instructions of what is the context, what is the environment that this agent is working upon. All of those details can be added in the topic instruction. And if it's very relevant to any specific action, you can add it in the actions itself directly. There is a space where you can add action instructions directly to the action. And also, if you want to add any instructions of how the input should be and how the output should be, there are ways in which you can do that as well. So we can see it in the later parts. I'll quickly move on. Okay, next I ask the query here is what level of account object access does a person has. So I have a person or a user named Gloria Barnes in this org, and I'm using her to check whether what level of access that she has with specific with respect to account object. Okay, and also I'm asking it to be more descriptive. Instead of giving any technical information, I need it to understand in terms of a layman. And also, can she add a new field in the account object? We'll see how it actually responds. It is interesting that you can also customize each and every thinking text also that you see here. So first, what it does is using Atlas, it identified which of the topic that it should select, because I've asked specifically to identify the user access. So here the topic selected is user access management. And within that, I have 8 relevant instructions and 8 relevant actions specifically, right? And Atlas, in this 8 actions, what it does is it selects a specific action that is more relevant to action this particular query. So here, if you see, the information is more on a descriptive format because I've asked it to provide in such a way. The action launched here is identify record by name, because I need to identify who Gloria Barnes is, whether she's a user in this org. Yes, she's a user, and I get the user ID. And after that, once I get the user ID, I use that to launch a next action where I get object permission levels. So here you can see you have read, create, edit, delete, and view all records and modify all records. All of this information are descriptive. You can see whether there's a yes or no with specific to Gloria Barnes, right? And additionally, I've asked a open-ended question where can she add a new field in account object? If you see here, it says like they do not have a specific access in order to create a new field. Rather, they need to reach out to the admin to get additional access or creating a new field via different user. Okay, so here the idea behind it is you can create a prompt. Additionally, you can add open-ended questions to make sure that it logically answers your questions if you do not know. If you want to reach out to any of the setup related information, this agent can help you to simplify all of your tasks. So that's what this agent is all about. We'll see the next prompt. The next prompt is I'm asking agent here to check if I can create a new field in the opportunity object named agent insights. Okay, we'll clearly see what does it actually respond to, because in the topic we have object management. So within object management, do we have any actions that allows a user to create any field, right? So here, if we take a pause, the response from the agent, if you can see, it says like they do not have any access or any sort of actions in play for creating a new field in the opportunity. So they can retrieve information, but they cannot create some new fields within the object themselves by the agent itself. So it also provides you with the Salesforce help article on like how to create one. All those are information are available. This is specifically because Atlas correctly identified that object management is the right topic. Well and good, but as discussed, like it does not have any specific actions that empowers it to create any field. So that's where it doesn't have any of the information. So what it does is the output that you see here, there is no field and there is no output specific to it. So it cannot select the right action. Either it selected a default one, it says like there's no output specifically because we have not mentioned any field name. We have mentioned field name that we are going to create agent insights as a one, but it doesn't have action where it can create a new fields from scratch for a specific object. Okay, great. And moving on, we have one more prompt for this agent specifically. So here I'm asking an information of what are the connected apps currently available in this org. Can you list them? Okay, so we'll see how it responds to this specific action. Okay, so here it says like it cannot reach out and get sufficient information of what are the different connected apps that are available. The one that you see here, it's connected app migration and connected app summary. So within these topics, you do not have action specifically to list the connected apps that are available as of now. So what it does is it fallbacks to a default topic and it checks whether it can answer customer's query using a knowledge article or a knowledge library per se. It can be knowledge articles within your Salesforce or within the data cloud. It can be any files that are available which the agent can use. It can be an external source where it can reach out any external data sets, or it can search in the web. So if none are actually tied back to this specific topic, it responds with the default answer saying that it doesn't have any information pertaining to this, and also provides additional information of what it can do or suggestive actions of what the user can do in the next step. So that's what it actually did in this particular scenario. Okay, so with all this, like we saw different types of queries that we can give to this agent specifically. This agent is actually a new one that is introduced in Salesforce out of the box. It's called as Agentforce Setup. So it's actually an evolving agent, it seems. So they are building out different topics and actions as we speak. So when you have some time, if you have a demo org, you can try creating this agent and play around this agent as well. So any of the topics and the actions within, like if you want to do something in the setup, this agent is the start for you. Great. So right now we saw an agent in action, but how does it actually work, or how did the information was retrieved from back and forth into the CRM org, and like how did bring that information back into the UI in Agentforce, right? So first, the one that we saw, it's kind of a setup agent, right? It's a custom agent, so it can be classified in the other agents. Apart from the Agentforce default, which is your employee agent, you have sales, service, marketing, and the other group of agents. It can be commerce, it can be from Slack, it can be any sort of analytics agents as well, right? So those are classified as agents. Agents have different topics that we saw earlier. So it can have like multiple topics. Topics are specific area, a domain. You can consider, if it has a topic, you can consider that agent is a subject matter expert of that specific topic. And in order to agent to effectively work in that specific topic, you need actions. So actions are classified as standard and custom. Standard actions are something that are out of the box. So whenever you create any demo org or you purchase any org and you enable Agentforce, you have certain topics and actions that are out of the box available by Salesforce itself. Then you can create custom actions. So custom actions you can create from certain reference type actions. Here, for example, these are majorly used, which are flow, apex, and your prompt template. So once you create a custom action through any of these reference action types, you can use it to empower the agent altogether. But there's a separate customization for prompt template specifically. Why? Because prompt template can be available directly from an agent action. So you can create an agent action and you can use prompt template as the reference action type. And also you can use prompt template types such as record summary, flex, field generation, and sales email. So record summary is providing a summarization of the record altogether. Flex is something that you customize and provide up to 5 different object access so that it can use and customize it accordingly. And field generation, like many of you would know, where you can generate something in the field specifically based on certain information that you provide via the prompt template. And sales email are like generating sales email based on the information that you have in the record. And at the right, you could see input merge fields. So these are the fields that are or can be leveraged within the prompt template. So it can be a record, it can be a related list, it can be any information that you get from the flow or from the apex or from the DMOs, or a record snapshot is something that is created directly. It can provide information of the entire by analyzing the entire record. So that's the record snapshot that you have in prompt template inputs. And you also have universal, where you can use the user information, or you can create a input where you can use that as an input whenever you want user to provide that input. So that is also available in the prompt template. So by decoding Agentforce, the background of it, it starts with the agent, then the topic, then the actions, then the action types or the reference action types. Then within the prompt template, you have template types and the merge fields that are currently used, right? So here in actions, you can use the prompt template. In record page, you can use it. In the email composer tab, you can use it. And also in flows, apex, and REST API, anything is possible where you can use prompt templates. So now we'll see more about like what is actions. We'll reverse engineer it. We'll start from the actions. We'll see what is action builder all about. So it's a point and click tool. It's a low code, no code interface where it's specifically designed to create actions for agents. So how do you empower an agent to perform any tasks? Actions is the place for you. So you can create an action. Either it can be a standard one out of the box. So some of the examples could be get account details, search something in the CRM org, update something, create something. All of those information, all of those actions are standard actions which are out of the box enabled into a standard topic. And when you want to have an agent to perform a certain action or a certain task, that's where your custom action comes in. Say, for example, you need your agent to talk with an external system altogether. You need to you need to empower the agent to consume an external API. So custom actions are the place for you where you can use an apex to call the external system. You can use an API as well. You can use flows, you can use prompt template. Anything is possible through custom actions. So the core capabilities that you see here. So rapid prototyping, you can create any prototypes of complex workflows, and you can use action builder to create something from scratch, fine tune it, and reiterate again and again, so you can build a better action altogether. And you can have testing directly within the action builder altogether, and you have a collaborative environment of agents and along with that, you have the topics and the actions, and you also have right now version control of the action. So if you want to move on to the previous version, that's also possible right now. So this is more towards on a descriptive details or the theoretical information of action builder. So we'll talk about what are the different actions, custom actions that are currently available. So predominantly, I think many of you would be using actions that are created using flow, using Apex, and using prompt template. So from now, we'll see how can we create an action by using Apex, by using flow, and by using prompt template. Right. So we'll start with custom action using Apex. So whenever you want to create an agent action, you go to the setup and you go to Agentforce Studio. Within Studio, you have Agentforce Assets. In Assets, you have topics and actions. In action, you can create any action, and the reference action type that you select here is Apex, and the action category is invocable method. And in the reference action, it's actually a drop down. So if you have any Apex classes, this is the place where you can select the particular Apex. And for this training session, we have created a Apex here. This is basically to get the case information from the CRM org and populate in the Agentforce UI in a specific format. So we'll start here with the Apex class name. Then we have the input. Input here, we have used case number as an input because we want to identify case using the case number, right? And also in the output, you can see whatever information that we got from the case number is also added as an output. In addition to that, we are going to bring in the subject of the case, status of it, priority, origin, the contact name, the account name, and the last updated modified or last modified date. And we are going to bring in the case URL as well, right? So through this Apex, what we are going to do is we are going to identify case using case number, and based on the information, we are going to pass that information to the agent, right? And here specific points to note: whenever you're going to use an Apex for an action creation, right? Since you're using invocable method, you need to add this annotations of @invocable variable here, and the places where you need it as an input and output, right? Specifically because we need this information to be captured in the action builder. So we'll be seeing it in the next slides, but this is the information that is required for you to add it in the Apex so that it is visible there. You can customize it there. Okay. So as said, this Apex specifically talks about getting case details based on the case number. Okay. Right. Next. So once I use this Apex and create an agent action, this is the place where you see it actually. And here you have the reference actions, and the reference action would contain what is the Apex that is added as a reference action here. Then in the bottom, you could see the agent action, its label, and the additional instructions that you want to give to this action specifically. Okay. So you can say that you always use this action to fetch any case information. So that sort of information that you can give to this action. And once you finalize the label and the instructions, you have a specific space at the bottom where you see the inputs and the output. I just try to squeeze everything in 2 slides. So left, you would have the input, and the right, you would have the output. So on the left, since we had the invocable variable where case number as an input, right? We also have case number as an output as well, specifically, right? In addition to the case number, we had account name, contact name, case URL, so on and so forth. Everything are arranged in terms of alphabetical order. Okay. So here, if you want the case number to be fed in such a way, you can add it to the instructions. Say the case number should be of only 10-digit length. It should not have any alphabetical characters, or it should be a hexadecimal, anything. You can add this information here and the action would take care of the rest. Okay. And whenever you want this information to be provided by the user, you add the checkbox of collect data from user. So if in case, if the user query is to get my case details or get case details, it asks for a specific case number to identify it. So that's why we use this checkbox. And in terms of the output, here you can see what is the data type and what is the output rendering. So which form of output does it actually render? So here we see it's the account name, case URL, and the case number all are in form of text, right? And you can also use it to show in the conversation as well. In the other fields, which are contact name, origin, last updated, priority, subject, status, all are same, but whatever information that you provided in the Apex will be added here specifically. It is possible to change it, where you can change the text to a rich text. That's it. But here you added the last update date as a date time format. So this is not changeable. So this is the only format that is available as of now. So whatever information that you add in the Apex, say, yeah, here if you can see subject as string, status as string, origin, contact name, account name, everything a string, but the last updated date or the modified date is a date time field. So that information is captured directly in your agent action builder. Okay, great. So once we set up the entire action, what we are going to do is we are going to see how does it actually used or added into a agent. And here, whenever you add something to an agent, you need to add it via the topic. And in the topic, you have configs and the topic action. Topic config would have your topic label name, and it would also have instructions. It would have scope and classification description. And also you can provide inputs as well, input examples specifically. So whenever you want the topic to be selected, and that is based on a specific format of input, you can add that input example as well through topic configs. In topic actions, this is the place where you can add actions. So in terms of adding actions, you can add it directly here from the agent builder, or you can add actions from Exchange as well. And those are some of the examples that we'll see shortly. So here I have an example where we have added this action into a specific topic. So topic here is fetching case details. So the query here is provide me more details about case number 1000. Okay. So what it does is, it based on the information as discussed using Atlas, it identified which of the prompt is relevant for this query, and it picked up that query, picked up the topic. And based on the topic, we have specific instructions and actions, and again through reasoning it chooses the right action so that it could the next step. And these are the instructions that are used to carefully choose which of the topic that needs to be chosen on the on which point of time. That can be based on the query or based on the information that you provide as an input. So all those are added as an information in the instructions directly. And here the action that is selected is get case details. So this is the action that we have created using Apex. So the input would be your case number, which you have already provided directly, and the output would be your account name, case number, case URL, so on and so forth. All of this information are provided here. In action, we have specifically added an additional information to list in a certain way. So as you can see here in the output metrics, yeah, sorry, I'll just go back. Yeah, we have added in the action saying like, hey, I need you to respond it in such a way that here are the details for the case with the case number and the contact name, account name, and everything should be printed in such a way that what I actually require. So as you can see here, so this is the level of customization that you can do using actions. And the best way to do that is to fine tune your instructions of uh, like modeling how should an agent actually work from your perspective. What is your goal in order to use this agent, right? So yeah, quickly moving on. So the next would be flows. So you can create custom action using flow, and for this we have created a demo as well, but I'll take you through shortly of what the demo is all about. Here we are going to add a case comment, a simple use case where we are going to identify whether the case is available or not based on the case number, right? And once the case is identified, we are going to add an additional record, which is your case comment, into that case directly. Okay. So here you can see the flow, and in the flow, you also have what sort of resources that are currently used in that flow. So here I used a record variable, which is your case record. Then I have case comment as a separate variable. Then I have outcome message as a separate variable. Then there's a system generated variable where it's a case comment ID from when you have created something, that information is added as a separate variable altogether. So that's your system generated one. So what we are going to do is we are going to create one action using this particular flow. So I've created this flow as add case comment, right? And you can see the agent action label is add case comment. You can customize it however you want. And after that, you can add instructions also, like what specific instructions that you want this action to be performed as required, right? And when you move slightly down, you could see the inputs and outputs here. As discussed in the flow, we saw variables such as case record and case comment and your outcome message. So case record, this specifically to identify which sort of case, right? So you can use any variable or any sort of ID to identify that case record. Then you have a case comment. Case comment is something that you want to provide as a text to the agent so that it can add it as a comment to the case. And output is your outcome. So whether it has added or not, that is the outcome message. So using this, what we have done is we have added that action in the topic in one of the agent, as you can see here. So we'll see that agent in action. So we have used Agentforce default, the employee agent, and we have added into the general CRM topic. So what I did is I asked agent to specifically add a comment saying this is added by agent action through flow, and this is presented in day 4 of Agentforce training to a case with case number. Okay. So using that, what it will do is it will identify the topic using Atlas reasoning engine, and it also chooses a relevant action as well. So mainly because I've added additional instructions of if I give a certain format of a query saying like I need to add a case comment, you always choose this topic and you always choose this particular action. And once the case is identified, I provide a confirmation saying like you can go ahead and you can update that case comment. So once the case comment is updated, the comment is added as a separate record, and you can see that in the CRM as well. Under the case, you can see like different comments from different users, right? So you can add it as a comment. So the success message here is comment was added to the case. So this is a success message, which is the outcome. So similar pattern we like through Atlas we choose the agent chooses the topic, then it chooses the relevant action, then it performs that specific action. Great. Now an interesting topic of custom actions through prompt template. So we leverage the creativity of models. We'll use large language models here, and through this, like, we have created a prompt template which is specifically for content generation. So here we have used content generation as the prompt template reference, and here, if you can see in the screen, the instructions are mainly to generate content based on a certain theme that is provided to a group of audience via specific channel. So there are many intricate details that you see here. So there's a theme, there's a audience, and there is a specific channel. So each and every um, inputs that you see here can be customizable and can be leveraged as an input. And also you can customize your loading text as well, saying like content creation is in progress, creativity unleashed. So anything is customizable through the loading text screen that you see here. When you scroll a little down, through the prompt template, I have created a prompt template first through prompt builder. Then I have used that prompt template here to create an action. So we'll see it in the further slides of like what the prompt template is all about. But the input here is the key message or the theme, and the other input message is the target audience, and the other one is the specific channel. So based on this information, it creates a content, or it generates a content from scratch. So that is your prompt response. So that is your output. And what you do is you add it like show in conversation and rich text. Okay. And here, when you scroll down, this is what I talked about. So this is the specific channel. And here I've asked it to collect data from user if nothing is provided. Okay. We'll see how that is actually working. So before we talk about the different prompt templates, right? So here, whenever you're going to create any prompt template, there are different types of prompt templates. So initially we had only specific ones where we can generate something. We can use flex, we can use record summary, email generation, that's it. But right now the list is expanded. Like you can use anomaly analysis, anomaly detection, brief generation, case related details, and you can use intent retrieval on a specific query that the user asks, service email creation, security risk analysis. All those are pre-configured out of the box prompt templates that are currently available for us to use. So whenever you use this prompt template type, you can have predefined prompt templates, and based on that you can customize it. So for our purpose, what we have done is we have used campaign generation as a prompt template type, and we have created a prompt template using prompt builder. And here in the left, the left pane has your template settings. All those can be manipulated, where you can add inputs and what sort of input it is. This input would be available in your insert resource, where you can insert any of the resources. It can be within your CRM org, or it can be from an external source. So anything is possible. Here for this demo, what we have done is we have created a prompt, and in that prompt we have added resources such as key message, target audience, and engagement channel. And we have added additional creativity for the agent to think and reason and create an engaging content. And the the output should be in HTML, or if you're going to use email as a specific channel, or if it's an SMS, try formulating that in a content where it can send as an SMS. So that's how we've modified the prompt template altogether. So specifically, what we did is we tried to preview this, and as you can see here, based on the information, since this is a preview, I've provided the inputs of the channel should be email, and the birthday is the key theme, and the target audience is audience who are above 18 years of age, right? So when you do that, like the entire response is generated, and this generated response is from a specific generative model that you select in the prompt builder. So right now Salesforce has capability to use LLM such as OpenAI or Gemini, and Claude, Anthropic Claude also. So These are some of the generative models that can be used. But in addition to that, you can also leverage your specific model if you have something that is hosted, right? Your customized model can also be used where you use Einstein Studio. In Einstein Studio, you can add your model. It can be generative or it can be a predictive model as well. So anything is possible. So once the preview is done, like we can test with multiple inputs and see whether it's working as expected. So the expectation, once the expectation is fulfilled, what you do is like you see it in action. And specifically, I wanted to show the screen is why, because in insert resources, you have numerous ways of bringing in information. So you can search some information via web. You can add information in your current organization details, such as your company address, so on and so forth. Any user related information, specifically, you are going to send across an email. As a perspective from your own, you need to add your user information, your title that is added in the Salesforce org. All of this information can be leveraged by from current user information. And for this specifically, I've used Flex as a prompt template. Using Flex, it's possible to leverage up to 5 different objects within the Salesforce org. So for this demo purpose, I've used account and opportunity just to show. In this prompt template, you can use account and opportunity as well. Any of the fields that are available in account and opportunity can be leveraged. And the model that we've talked about, if you can see here, the model is standard, and right now I'm using GPT-4o mini. Okay, great. We'll see the action, how it is actually working in an agent, right? So through a customized content marketing agent that we've created, we have added that action into one of the topic. And what I gave as an input is generate a creative content for birthday anniversary sent to general audience to be sent via email. So I mentioned the theme, I mentioned who are the audience, and also the channel. So let's see like how it does. And also if you notice, the loading text is also customized. Content creation in progress, creativity unleashed. We'll see Atlas reasoning engine. How does it actually pick the right topic and the right action? Great. So here, it based on the reasoning, it chose automated content suggestions. So that is the topic in which we have an action specifically that we have created using prompt template. As an output, as you can see here, what we have done is it created an email with a subject line and the body of informing about their birthday anniversary, like wishing for their birthday anniversary. And additionally, it added its creativity to include some of the historical significance of what happened on that particular day. Any influential figures have born on that same day. All those are information are added here. Okay. And if I move through or like course through it, you can see that the topic is automated content suggestion, and the action that is launched, our prompt template name is CG, short form of content generation. And through that, you see the input, which is the target audience, engagement channel, and the theme. So based on that, it used or it leveraged LLM to create an entire response, which is your output here. Okay, moving on, we'll do a slight tweak of it. So what we'll do is we'll ask the agent to generate an engaging content that can be sent to users who have completed 18 years of age to start looking for intern opportunities. There's a specific input that is missing here, which is your channel. So we'll see how it actually responds. Okay. So what we have done is we've explicitly asked the agent. So if something is not provided as an input, ask the agent before you do something. So instead of hallucinating yourself, instead of assuming something, ask the agent of what the input should be. So here it asks for what are the specific engagement channels. So right now I provide it to be an SMS. Okay. So for SMS, what should be the content? That's where agent reaches out to LLM with all of the inputs that it has. It creates a detailed SMS for you, which can be leveraged. So same, using Atlas reasoning engine, select the topic first, then it selects the specific or the relevant action, and based on the action, it checks whether all of the inputs are available, and based on that, it creates your output. So this is an end-to-end flow of how actions are leveraged in an agent using topic and the instructions behind it. Okay, great. So moving on. So we've dissected or understood what are the custom actions. How can we leverage a custom action in an agent, right? We'll reverse engineer it. Right now, we know how to create an action, but in order to create an action, we need to know what are the different types that are available. And in addition to that, we need a place where to have this action performed, right? So that is your agent and your topic. So right now, Salesforce have modified where you can create an agent from a template, or you can create an agent using generative AI, right? So here, through agent creator, there are several out of the box themes that you can use to create an agent from scratch, predefined topics and predefined actions. So first you see channel expert, specifically for Slack. So it's an agent where you can create and add it to the Slack. So any of the questions that users in the channel have, they can tag this channel expert and get answers from it. So this is specifically for that purpose. Slack employee help is similar if you have any questions in Slack, right? So those sorts of questions can be answered by Slack employee help. So this is also one of the out of the box agent that can be leveraged. Then you have field service, mobile work, Agentforce employee agent. I think many of you have used it. It's one of the default agent where it's an internal agent. Any information that you want within the CRM, or instead of going back and forth, you can use this agent, converse it in natural language, and get the information as soon as possible. Next, you have flow automation agent, where in the background you can automate the flows on a specific time period. You can also use it to summarize any of the information that you get or need from the flow, that is have like work in the background. And you have Agentforce service agent, specifically acts as a service agent that can work autonomous, takes care of all of the L1 related tasks. And you have Agentforce service assistant. So instead of directly working with the customer, it works with the sales service representative or service agent who's a human agent. So it augments their capability. Say they want to fetch some information. Instead of doing that manually, they can leverage the service assistant and they can get that information. It can be related to a case. Say, for example, a case is assigned to a user, and the user does not have any historical information. So what they need to do is they need to understand what sort of history that the case has. Instead of doing that, they can use this assistant to generate or summarize what has happened from start of this case until now. So they can have a pointers of what to do, what not to do, right? And Agentforce for guided shopping, specifically for commerce. So these are commerce related agents. Then you have Slack onboarding. Any users that are onboarded to Slack, you can use this agent to understand what sort of steps that are need to be taken in order to get added into a channel, get user information. All those are available through Slack onboarding agent. And Slack customer insights, specifically if you have any conversation with your business partners or with your clients, any insights that you need when you have a conversation, this is the agent for you. Then you have marketing agents such as campaign creation agent. You have content builder agent that we have saw recently. Then you have Agentforce setup. So this is a new type agent where we saw in the initial demo. And we have billing employee assistance, and we have sales management specifically for sales rep. We have security agents specifically to run in the background, detect and analyze what sort of risks or anomalies that are happening in the org currently. And we have analytics and visualization agent. So this is also helpful in understanding the entire data sets and creating a detailed analysis of specific hidden patterns. And the guided shopping for B2C storefronts, commerce agents, and Agentforce for guided shopping B2C. This is also a commerce agent out of the box. Then you have scheduling agents, which is one of a service assistant where it supports mainly for scheduling in field service. And you have field service dispatching, and you have knowledge base agent. So specifically for creating knowledge bases, knowledge articles, any library, data libraries that would be useful for agent to work with. So that's where you use knowledge base agent. So we saw different types of out of the box agents. In addition to these agents, once you select any of the agents, you have pre-selected topics and actions. So in interest of time, we try to squeeze as much as information as possible. So some of the information that you see in the screen, if you choose Slack channel expert, you have the topic as Slack channel expert, and in addition to that topic, you have channel expert search Slack. So instead of going one by one, I'll just quickly course through this information. And you have general FAQ specifically for understanding information that is available via the data library through knowledge. Slack knowledge, case management, as the name suggests, any of the case related information, you can use this topic, and the actions that are available in this topic specifically, like create case with enhanced data, add a case comment, get case by verified case number. All those are information that are added to this case management. And you have account management topic, you have delivery issues topic, you have reservation management, service customer verification. All these are not custom built from scratch, but they are available directly out of the box from Salesforce. So whenever you select a specific agent, the relevant topics and the actions would be pre-built in that agent altogether. So instead of us creating something from scratch, you can use some of the templates and you can start from there. You can customize or mold your action based on what is required from your perspective. What is the goal? What is the scope of that agent all about? So, right. We talked about creating an agents using template, but there's also another way where you can use a generative AI to create an agent. Right, so this is also one of the format where you can provide what type of work does it actually do. Say for example here, your agent, what do you want your agent to do? So I've asked the agent to do an end-to-end planning of holiday packages, similar to a hospitality management related agent. So we'll see what it actually creates. So once I hit on next, what it does is it creates the name, it creates the API name as well. I didn't provide it anything. And also the role, you can provide any role. In the right, you can see like what are the best practices of what to write in the role, and the company information. Role is specifically to tell the agent that this is your job. These are the job description of like what you're going to do in this job, and the company name is specifically for which you're going to work, what you're going to represent. And the company description is more towards like what the company stands for. Either they are going to be a hospitality management, that they'll cover an end-to-end package of holiday bookings, right? So all of this information you could add it to the company description. In addition to that, you can add company details like reach out to this information, like email or phone number. Anything can be provided in the company description. So it can fall back to this information. If someone asks for company information, like your agent is working for which company, if you don't have any actions that are relevant to it, it can fall back to this company description and get that information and share it to the UI. Okay, and you have agent user that you're going to create because it acts as a specific autonomous agent, right? So when we talked about agent creation using templates, right, the steps would be slightly varying, where you select an agent from template, you choose the topic, you add the data, then you customize it at the last. But right now you have customization second, then you choose the topic or the add the topic. Here topics are predefined, but the actions within it, it's only through the knowledge. So there is a default action where for every question that is relevant to the topic, what it does is it reaches to the knowledge base. So if you have any data library, a knowledge, it can be a file or it can be from an external data source. If you have something, it uses the default action and provides this information. If not, you have to create custom actions from scratch. There won't be any custom out of the box action pre-built for any of the topic that you see right now, apart from the fallback mechanism of going to the knowledge back. Okay, right. So here you can add data sources. Data sources empowers agent to work on a specific environment. So this is where the knowledge or the fallback mechanism comes in. So you can choose data sources. If you have any data, you can use it. So some of the data sources starts with your knowledge files that you're going to input. If you have certain information, you can upload it as a file. You can do web search, and you can also use custom retriever. Maybe if you have any information from an external source, you can fetch that information into your CRM org or in your data cloud, and you can use that information and power this agent altogether. So first, if we choose knowledge, there should be a knowledge base, and knowledge base should have relevant information of how to identify. If you provide any certain query, how to identify that query and match that query with the certain answer. So all these configs are available in your field settings. And when you choose files, you can upload any data. So you can add any PDFs just to provide information of these are some of the questions and these are the answers to these questions, so that you can do it by uploading the files. And the next one would be web search. So if it's a web search, you can you can tell the agent to do a web search and get the information and pass it over to the user. So that's where web search comes in. And finally, the custom retriever. If you have any custom retrievers already enabled in your org, you can use that custom retriever. And once you retrieve that information, you can use that information to say that these are some of the information that is only available for this agent. Okay. And once you created an agent, you have the power to customize an agent through agent builder or through Agentforce builder. As you see in the screen, you can do any sort of tests, you can preview, you can see how does it actually think, you can iterate, or you can mold an agent specifically, you can add certain topics here directly, you can also add custom actions directly into a specific topic. And also the third variation here is, instead of creating it from a template or instead of creating from a generative AI, you can use agent exchange and you can bring that agent directly as a package and you can use it in your own org. That is also possible. And any of the interaction that you have with the agent, all of those information are captured, and you can use that information as an event log to understand what sort of conversation that the agent makes, and all those are information available in the events. Okay. And once within a topic you have a specific action, so that's where you see here in the action agent action label. So I'll stop right here. For today, we've talked about agents in action. We've decoded Agentforce. We saw what are the types of action. We saw agent creator and agent builder. So for tomorrow, we'll touch base on testing center an end-to-end demo, and you can have a question and answer session. So thank you, team. Thanks for your time today.